Hello again. It is yeah, December 16th. That's correct. A little bit after 5 p.m. on a Sunday. I recently got back from the Colorado trip, and needless to say, it was somewhat of a semi-nightmare. As far as leaving Las Vegas to Denver was no big issue, but when we got to Denver International, anyone who was familiar with or is unfamiliar with them, they have a policy that if you're in a wheelchair, pretty much, and I'm sorry, not only if you're in a wheelchair, but if you got to get to the other side of the terminal, uh, they put you in the semi like golf cart because they said it's too long of a walk, plus something with regulations. And luckily, I convinced them that I had to stay in my chair, so someone did push me to the other end, but never heard of that. Unfortunately for my mom, who has a bad back, she had to go with the golf cart, and it was not a pretty situation. I was there from Saturday the 1st until Friday. I think that was the 7th, yeah. And every day, something to definitely write home about. Anyone who's not familiar with Craig Hospital, when you are doing outpatient, for example, and you are staying there for several days, they have these apartments that is connected to the hospital, and you can stay at. However, the floors, since there's no carpeting in them, there's not much traction. So for me, with the crutches, it was almost impossible to walk, to position myself, to get into the bed. So that was a nightmare to begin with. Add the fact that you have the humidity that's an issue. The whole time I was there, my legs were killing me. They were very stiff, so I had to deal with that. Also, no matter where you go, no matter how good a place is, you normally run across someone who's a little bit on the inept side as far as the uh, test I was supposed to take, a MRI with sedation. For those of you who've never had that, please keep that in mind, what I'm about to tell you, because you're not supposed to eat the night before, and as far as drinking, only sips if you have to take medicine. My test was for Monday at 1:30, and I get down to take the test, and of course they never told me that, so I had to reschedule the test from Monday at 1:30 p.m., which is a reasonable time, to Tuesday at 7:30 a.m., which meant I had to, with my father assisting me, get up at about 5:30 in the morning, which forget about it. It was ridiculous. However, I did do the tests, and this is what happened. They said that it looks like that there's tethering going on in the spinal cord area, which basically means because of the scar tissue, it's causing the lack of maybe sensation I'm having in the legs as well as lack of strength. But, underline but, I'm not showing the normal or classical symptoms because this and in here should be affected, and they're really not. So, again, I'm being called unique. What else is new? And that they're not 100% sure it's tethering. So, I have two options right now. Because I have a baclofen pump that has not only the baclofen in it but morphine, the suggestion is to wean off the morphine so it's totally out of the pump, and the reason for that is they've seen cases where the two mixing can cause the issues I'm having. So that's one. Option two, take a chance, go back in, and try to undo the tethering there. Uh, Best case scenario, it works, though I will have about 3 or 4 months of recovery time, and it's not an easy recovery. Worst case scenario, or two of the worst case scenarios, is one, I go through that and it doesn't help. So now I'm spent doing a recovery of 3 months for the fact that it didn't help, so that hurts. Or the worst thing, which is a 1% chance, is basically I really become paralyzed and end up on a ventilator. So this is what I was told. Uh, Coming back was also from the airport in Denver to Vegas also was an issue, and it's important that people know this, that there is supposedly a law with the Disability Act that says a person is not allowed to be in a wheelchair for more than 30 minutes because they're afraid that someone might forget about them. So even though I was with my parents watching me, the supervisor said, well, that's the law, so we have to take you out of the wheelchair and have me sit on a supposed handicapped chair for people with disabilities. So you can imagine how disgusted I was, as well as my parents, to be told this, and it's something people with disabilities need to be aware of when at the airport. There's other things too, but uh, I don't want to get into it in this video because I know I only have a certain amount of time to talk. So if anyone has any questions on what I went through, or because I do have a spinal cord injury, and I have been unfortunately around the block and know things that maybe other people don't. You can reach me at giants1970 at hotmail.com. That's giants1970 at hotmail.com. Uh, any comments you want to make, any questions, please feel free to ask. With everything that's happened to me, shyness is basically out the window, so I'll do my best to help out if you need it. Until then, this Tuesday I begin getting my pump refilled and starting the process of weaning off. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I have to be hopeful, right? That's it for this entry. So I am still writing my articles, by the way, and I do work for that website, z6mag.com. That's the letter Z as in zebra, 6mag.com. If you want to see the stuff that I write about, want to comment on that, feel free to do so. I can only improve as a writer if people comment on what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. So, again, that's it. Good luck to everyone, especially those who do have a spinal cord injury. Just keep in mind that you have to keep going, and usually there are people that are worse than you and are not only getting on with their lives. I'm not going to say surviving, not only getting on with their lives, but they are making a life for themselves. So, take care, and as always, my name is Seth, and this is my continuing story.